Continuing from the previous episode 2065. The latest website, the altar mountain, standing majestically, like a pillar standing upside down, quite imposing, on the top of the giant mountain, a solemn altar of several kilometers emerged. Standing in the world with a smile, an invisible oppression swept out. Even in the center, an old man in plain clothes stood quietly, waving to the surrounding powerhouses constantly. The power in his body was as vast as the sea of stars. The Thunder Clan, the Soul Clan, etc., including the Medicine Clan, the genius alchemist of the 6 ancient clans and their leading elders, as well as some self-esteemed sect powerhouses have gathered at this time. The ceremony of the Medicine Clan is indeed well-deserved. Xiaoyan and Xun Er had just arrived around the altar mountain, looking at the powerful Medicine Clan and some strong opponents on the edge of the altar. They couldn't help laughing. However, there was no fear in his voice. Instead, there was a hint of heat and madness. His soul power was extremely tyrannical. If it weren't for the limitation of refining technology, I am afraid that he would have broken through the rank of a mortal pharmacist at this time. Wang buzzing. After a while, Xiaoyan and the two also found a seat and sat down quietly, waiting for the grand ceremony to start. Quote. The time passed by 1 minute and 1 second. About an hour later, in the entire altar mountain, crowds were crowded, and countless powerhouses gathered together, and the real grand ceremony was about to begin. Welcome to the world of medicine, the old man, the head of the medicine family, Yao Yichen. I will preside over this medicine family grand ceremony. Let's not talk nonsense. Let's witness the birth of the first pharmacist in the mainland. Waiting for the altar, the surrounding voices quieted down. Looking at the seats that were full beside him, an old man in silver clothes slowly lifted into the air. A soft laughter made people feel more cordial, like a spring breeze, but anyone could smell it from this voice. An unfathomable breath. The patriarch of the Medicine Clan really lived up to his reputation. Yao Yichen, the patriarch of the Yao family. It is said that this guy is one of the only 3 remaining 8th-rank alchemists on the entire Btth continent. Holy pills, that's the supreme thing. A holy pill can fill the sea, but its power is invisible. Even the records in ancient books are very few. However, the 3 holy rank 8th rank alchemists on the entire continent are all from the medicine family. In addition, even if there are countless proud sons of the sky, they can't break through the immortal rank and step into the dreamed holy rank. Will there be any mystery in this? No one knows. With the appearance of this figure, the entire altar suddenly became quiet, and even some powerful people in the medicine family couldn't help but cast the most lofty gifts on it. Respect. Saint-level pharmacists represent the top level of pharmacists on Btth continent today. Perhaps for the entire Daqin world, holy-level pharmacists are not necessarily the top, but here, he is undoubtedly the entire pharmacist world. The Taishan Beidou, 8-star fighting immortal's perfect strength has not touched the reincarnation yet. It is a little bit worse than Senior Gu Yuan. Seeing this, Xun Er secretly rejoiced. You girl, don't forget his identity as a pharmacist, a holy rank 8th grade pharmacist, enough to invite some reincarnation powerhouses to work for him, so to a certain extent, his power is even greater than above Senior Gu Yuan. Xiaoyan said with a smile. Then brother Xiaoyan, didn't he also invite the 8-star fighting immortal? Xun Er heard the words and said unconvincingly. Xun Er naturally would not believe that Xiaoyan only had the medicine refining skills of the 6th rank immortal rank, because Xiaoyan, the soul power of that level, is probably already comparable to the holy level, but for some special reasons, it is still lingering in the immortal level. The 7th rank immortal rank can invite the 8-star fighting immortals, and the 8th rank holy rank can ask some reincarnation ranks of the first entry path, and so on. Today is the day of my medicine clan's grand ceremony. My medicine clan uses medicine refining to meet friends. Although everyone is delicious and delicious, there is an unparalleled medicine refining competition to help you. I announce that the 300th grand ceremony of the Yao clan will begin now. Yao Yichen spoke slowly, his voice resounding through the sky like thunder, making countless people feel like thunder. I'm afraid this guy's combat power is also extremely terrifying. Hearing such a roar, Xiaoyan said solemnly. The competition of this pharmacist competition is fully controlled by the old man Yao Xueni. The ceremony is divided into 3 stages. I hope you can show all your strengths and talents. Even if you fail to win the championship, it will be much easier for you in the future. Participating in my Medicine Clan Grand Ceremony, bring your own medal of refining medicine master and come out. Yao Shueni appeared next to Yao Wanwan's body, and said with a smile on his face. These two old guys are really relying on the old to sell the old. Shui sect Shen Hong looked at them in the distance, but cursed darkly. Shen Hong, remember what I said to you. In the 3 rounds of competition at the Grand Ceremony, if there is a chance, that kid named Xiao Yan, plus the Yan clan, the Soul clan, and the Medicine clan, must kill them all. They are the most powerful opponents in your future as a pharmacist. Old monster Shen Shi cast his eyes away and scolded him. Yes. Shen Hong heard the words and said with great excitement. After he finished speaking, he slowly stepped out with the 7th grade Zon level medal of the immortal rank in his hand. Hunmu, practice for 1,000 days, use it for a while, this grand ceremony, I hope it is built for you. Han Shuji also smiled slightly. Hun Mu took a step forward, and then whispered, and a 7th grade Earth level medal of the immortal rank appeared in his hand. Go girl. Elder Lingxi looked at Qian Ying next to him with relief. Teacher, I'm going, I definitely won't shame our spiritual clan. Ling Zixi even held a 7th grade immortal rank medal in his hand, and approached the center of the altar. Have you written down what I said to you? The red-haired and black-faced ancestor Yanyan said casually looking at Yanzan beside him. Take it down, don't worry, patriarch, at this grand ceremony. I will let the Yao family know what it means to be someone outside, and there is a heaven outside. Yanzan sneered, holding a 7th grade Earth level medal on the palm of his hand. Lei Luokan, I hope you can gain something from this grand ceremony. Our Lei clan is no better than them. You are the hope in the clan. Just do your best. Lei Qianren was very open. Okay. Lei Luokan responded, and slowly stepped out with the immortal rank 7th stage profound rank medal. In addition, there are hundreds of people slowly walking out from behind, but among those guys, almost all of them are in the category of close to 100 years, and even the ranks are almost distributed in the 5th and 6th rank of the immortal rank. The 7 ranks are only a few. Come out, 2 little fellows. Looking at the hundreds of alchemists gathered in the center of the altar, Yao Shueni waved at an inconspicuous place somewhere on the altar. The real genius brothers in the Yao family, Yao Yichen, Yao Yichen. It is said that the soul power of the two has reached a terrifying height. Even some elders of the Yao family praised them. They are really powerful opponents. Into the crowd. The 2 of them were dressed in sparse and ordinary clothes, and they were no different from ordinary figures. The only difference was that the eyes of the 2 were as bright as stars, which was daunting. At this moment, nearly 1,000 pharmacists have formed the real highlights of this Medicine Clan Grand Ceremony. I wonder if there will be a dark horse running out, or this session of the mainland's #1 alchemist still belongs to the Medicine Clan? However, the title of the #1 alchemist in the mainland holds a pivotal position. Continuing from the previous episode 2066. The latest website, it's not too late, we are about to start the first round of the competition, but before the competition, the old man has to advise you all. My Medicine Clan festival is by no means a child's play, so if there are casualties in the competition, it can only be regarded as a lack of strength. Because in our Medicine Clan festival, the selection of alchemists is extremely strict, a tyrannical refiner the pharmacist must be a strong man with explosive combat power, and at least he must have the power to be proud of, otherwise he will not be able to convince the public, so some medicine nerds should be saved. Everyone should think about it clearly, once the competition starts, there is no room for maneuver. Yao Shueni looked at nearly 1,000 people around, and said unceremoniously, the warning was very obvious. Hey, the sturdy folk customs of this Yao clan are really terrifying. Xiao Yan stood alone in the crowd and couldn't help laughing, but because of Xuner's identity, he couldn't go with Xiao Yan, and now Xuner has found one sitting quietly in a position with an excellent view, waiting for Xiao Yan to shine. The Medicine Clan's requirements for the strong in the clan are extremely strict, which has also created the illustrious name of the Medicine Clan. In the Medicine Clan, those who have shown extremely high attainments in the process of refining medicine will be tortured and practiced extremely terribly by the strong in the clan, because many geniuses in the Medicine Clan have died in the hands of some vicious gangsters. Therefore, the Medicine Clan also attached great importance to cultivation. In the eyes of the Medicine Clan, a tyrannical alchemist was also a strong fighting spirit that should not be underestimated. It is one of the reasons why the medicine family has prospered for a long time. Oh. Xiao Yan's voice emerged in the bottom of his heart, and Yao Yichen, who was beside him, swept his beautiful eyes lightly, and immediately stared at Xiao Yan. Thin, with a heavy weight on his back, and a smile on his face, he gave off a rather ordinary feeling. This was Yao Yichen's first impression of Xiao Yan, but due to the fluctuation of Xiao Yan's soul power just now, he was caught by him at a glance. Noticed. This guy's soul power is no trivial matter. At this moment, Xiao Yan couldn't help but tighten his nerves, and his eyes became vigilant towards this woman. I just muttered at random, but it actually attracted the attention of this girl? This girl's soul power and sense of smell are too terrifying, right? The genius brothers and sisters of the Yao family, the elder brother Yao Yichen, who has excellent refining skills, has already touched the peak of the 7th rank immortal rank, and the younger sister Yao Yichen's soul strength Zhochun is enough to rank in the top 10 of the Yao family. The two who have the hope of winning the championship. When Xiao Yan was puzzled, Ling Zixi walked towards Xiao Yan quite indifferently and said, "N." When Xiao Yan heard this, he couldn't help but be wary of this guy. Don't get me wrong, I just don't want the mainland's #1 pharmacist to fall into the hands of the Yao clan this time. Shake hands, Ling Zixi said softly and casually. This guy, what kind of medicine is sold in the gourd? Although Xiao Yan was suspicious, he raised his palm slightly and shook hands under the cover of the crowd. Don't try to escape from my palm. I have a unique way to find you. Your secrets are not easy, but I have no ill will towards you. Maybe we can cooperate. Then the two seemed to shake hands in a friendly way. A soul the power emerged from Ling Zixi and communicated with Xiao Yan. Okay. At this time, Xiao Yan had no choice but to agree. These two, Yao Yichen could not help muttering as she watched Xiao Yan shaking hands with her beautiful eyes. Little sister, what's the matter? Yao Yichen asked with a domineering expression on the side, as if in his eyes, there are nearly 1,000 people here, and only those powerful people from the ancient race can be a little threatening. It's fine. Yao Yichen shook her head slightly, not paying attention to the two, but waiting for the first round of the competition to start. Very good. Since no one backs down, the first round of the competition will start now. As we all know, a tyrannical pharmacist is composed of soul power, perception power, flame and other powers. There is no doubt that the importance of soul power to pharmacists can be imagined, because soul power is the most important factor that determines the refining technology. A series of cumbersome procedures, such as the extraction of medicinal materials, refining, the fusion of medicinal herbs, and the formation of medicinal pills, are all completed by the power of the soul. So this first round of competition is mainly to identify the power of the soul. Yao Xuanyi spoke slowly, his voice shocked the countless experts present. Soul power, Xiao Yan said with a headache when he heard the words. Although soul power is important, tyrannical soul power may not necessarily represent a powerful alchemist. Some whispers also emerged. And the old man has to remind you that there are no eliminations in the 3 rounds of competitions. Once you fail to pass the minimum standard of each round of competitions, or you are defeated by others, you will only be regarded as failures, and you will be lost to continue the competition. However, after the final competition is completed, the loser will have the opportunity to challenge the #1 pharmacist in the mainland, and if he wins, he will directly take his place. Yao Xuanyi smiled, and the meaning was clear. Okay, old man, hurry up and talk about how the first round of souls will be carried out at this time. It's so annoying. I don't understand why there are so many cats and dogs coming in at this level of ceremony. At that moment, Yao Yichen roared at Yao Xuanyi with an impatient face, apparently relying on his evil spirits. Strength, for those ordinary alchemists around him, naturally do not take it seriously, so he is so proud. The first round of soul testing is also very simple. I will bring you to this place later. Where is there a soul stone that absorbs soul power? You only need to mobilize your soul power to inject it, and the soul power value will appear immediately. Come out. The minimum standard is 60 points. Those above 60 points are considered to pass the first round, and vice versa. Throughout the ages, the oldest record in the soul test among my Yao family is the 96 points held by Patriarch Yao Wan. I wonder if anyone can break this legend this time. Let's wait and see. Come on. Yao Xuanyi laughed. Dong dong dong. Yao Xuanyi just finished speaking, and suddenly waved his hand, A majestic crystal barrier directly isolated the thousands of contestants from the altar mountain, just like being in a huge mirror. Doing this, it is also to ensure the fairness of the competition and prevent some unscrupulous people from using small tricks. What a terrifying handwriting, building a space with only one hand. The strength of this Yao clan today can be said to be more and more unfathomable. Watching Yao Xuanyi's actions like this, the powerhouses of the ancient race and some powerful forces, the top powerhouse's heart lit up and smiled. Brother Xiaoyan, Xun Er is waiting for the moment when you shine. Xun Er sat in a seat rather obediently, her eyes were indifferent, like a fairy outside the world who was out of tune with her surroundings. Miao Ting. At this moment, on top of the altar mountain of the medicine clan, countless strong people were happily watching the many contestants in the crystal barrier, and their eyes became hot, and it was a great blessing to be able to witness this level of alchemy ceremony. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2067. The latest website. Dong dong dong. With a sound, the crystal barrier just appeared, and suddenly the thousands of participants felt that their eyes swayed, and they were directly away from the altar mountain and were involved in it. In the crystal barrier, it is like an altar mountain, but the place where everyone stands is a huge square paved with agate stones. A deep ancient atmosphere emerges from the square, and in the center of the square, a piece is covered. Huge stones with countless mysterious patterns, shaped like a mouth, radiated dim light. It stands quietly in the center of the square. The whole is like a rather luxurious crystal block, revealing endless mystery. In addition to what Yao Xuanyi just said, you don't need to guess to know that this is probably used by the Yao family to detect the power of the soul. Baby, soul stone. This is the crystal barrier, which is the first round of competition. Don't worry. Later, you only need to release your soul power and inject it into the soul stone, and the most accurate value will appear. Yao Xuanyi explained. With Yao Xuanyi's explanation, Qian Ren also calmed down, slightly adjusted the aura in his body to return to its peak, and prepared for the first round of soul testing. In that case, let's get started. I don't know everyone present. Who will come first? Yao Xuanyi said after Shun Qi. I'm coming. Yao Xuanyi's voice just fell, and all the alchemists present also became agitated and took the initiative to sign up, and immediately formed a long queue in front of the crystal soul stone. There are so many immortal alchemists, but they are attracting attention. HMPH. Just some cats and dogs. Yao Yichen shrugged and smiled when he saw this. Obviously, he didn't care about these guys who were not even the 7th rank immortal pharmacist. The only one who had the 6th immortal rank, Xiaoyan, who was awarded the Hell Medal, made him a little worried. After all, the guy who can go through the Hell Mode assessment is by no means an ordinary person. Brother, your character needs to be tempered. Before you came out, the elders once explained that you should not cause trouble, so don't forget it. Hearing Yao Yichen's words, Yao Yichen couldn't help complaining. This guy. With Yao Yichen's provocative words, the alchemists around him who participated in the grand ceremony were also gnashing their teeth, but because of Yao Yichen's terrifying 7-star fighting immortal perfection strength, coupled with the mysterious and unpredictable immortal rank 7 with the refining technology, no one dared to say a word for a while. Because it does have such arrogance. Completion of the 7-star fighting immortals combined with the immortal rank 7th rank peak alchemist is enough to make him look down on the heroes. Release your soul power and inject it into the soul stone. Yao Xuanyi said to the strong man in front of him. Okay. The first person in the line was a small and thin man, with a thick and heavy body all over his body. After blinking his eyes, his brows closed, his soul realm rolled violently, and the invisible soul power turned into a trace. Energy ripples were injected into the crystal soul stone in front of him. Tick. With a sound, this guy's soul power just touched the crystal soul stone, and suddenly a sound of water dripping sounded, and a conspicuous 70 slowly overflowed on the gorgeous crystal soul stone. The soul power score is 70, which is also considered a good seedling. Congratulations on successfully passing the first round. Yao Xuanyi supported his white beard, took over the fellow's 6th grade alchemist medal of immortal rank, and injected a rather obscure power before opening the mouth. For the pharmacist, the medal of alchemist is the most authoritative proof, but out of fear that some outlaws will forge the medal of alchemist, the soul test was established. Xun Er's great means of penetrating the sky and the earth injected a trace of the exclusive breath of the medicine family into it. In the next competition, as long as you show this medal, it is the best proof of your identity. Okay, next one. Quote. One by one proceeded slowly, but the speed was extremely fast, except for some dark horses with a score as high as 80, rushed out halfway, otherwise one person was only delayed for a minute. You need to be careful in this grand ceremony assessment. There are only 5 people from the Yan clan, the Soul clan, the Yao clan, and the Shui sect. As for the other ancient races and superpowers, although their strengths are not bad, they can't cause any hindrance to you. Don't underestimate the brothers and sisters Hunmu and Yao Yichen. Even I don't give in to their accomplishments in medicine refining, and that disciple of the Yan tribe has a special flame, making medicine pills even more handy. Looking at the field among so many figures, Ling Zixi slowly came to Xiaoyan's side and smiled. What do you mean? Hearing this, Xiaoyan frowned, obviously telling Xiaoyan intuitively that this girl's terror would not be so simple. Don't be afraid. I said that I just want to cooperate with you. After all, your family has endless mysteries, and I would also like to see it. Ling Zixi seemed to be satisfied with Xiaoyan, and nodded slowly, dragging cheeks with both hands. Obviously, he already knew that Xiaoyan was a descendant of the Xiao family. This little goblin. If it wasn't for me not being able to accompany brother Xiaoyan in the assessment, I would definitely. While the outside world watched the scene in the crystal barrier through a layer of light curtain, Xun Er looked at Ling Zixi like this, couldn't help stomping his feet angrily, even because of his anger. A rare terrifying aura emerged from his body, that kind of aura, even the late-stage powerhouses of the ancient race around him could smell a sense of unease. For Xun Er's appearance, everyone around him became quiet, and even some people who were lucky enough to try to get close were also shocked away by it. This girl, it's not simple. Looking at this scene, the 5 elders of the ancient 5 clans couldn't help staring at Xun Er, and seemed to sense a familiar breath. It was the breath of the ancient clan, but the ancient clan had something to do with the clan. I didn't come, so I wasn't sure for a while. I hope you can give me all of my strength in a while, otherwise this grand ceremony assessment will also become boring. Yao Yichen dropped a sentence coldly, and immediately followed. 6 hours passed slowly, but there were nearly 1,000 alchemists, but none of them reached the high score of 90, and only a handful of alchemists barely reached 80. At this moment, only 10 people including Xiaoyan have not been tested. Let's do it. Lei Luokan took one step forward, then walked out from behind and came to the soul stone. He gently raised his palm to fit the ancient crystal-like soul stone, closed his eyes, and communicated with the spiritual palace in his body. Soul power is injected into the soul stone. Oh, it's actually the soul power of the fairyland that built the spiritual palace. Lei clan seems to have a rare seedling this time. Yao Xuanyi looked at Lei Luokan like this and couldn't help laughing. Among the thousands of people just tested, very few have reached the fairyland with their soul power, and even fewer have built a spiritual palace. Wang buzz. As the invisible soul power burst out from Lei Luokan's body, bursts of buzzing sounds sounded, and there were 2 conspicuous digital changes on the crystal soul stone. 89 points. After the breath, the 2 shining familiarity shocked everyone's hearts. Continuing from the previous episode 2068. The latest website, 89 points. Looking at the numbers shining in the soul stone above the square, the thousands of alchemists onlookers murmured. They did not leave the stage after the assessment was completed, but looked at the 10 people who were not tested in the end with anticipation. They were also extremely curious. How high can these hidden people reach? It should be that the spiritual palace has just been built and the spiritual palace has not been filled, but this level can reach 89 points. Will I have some? Xiaoyan nodded slightly, and immediately became a little worried, because Xiao's soul power has been tempered many times. Lian has long been incompatible with the current strength, and this is the medicine family. Xiaoyan is worried that he will be studied as a guinea pig. Here, your Thunder Clan has produced an incredible guy this time. Yao Xuanyi smiled and handed over the medal of alchemist. Thank you, senior. Lei Luokan was quite calm, thanked him, and quietly retreated. Shi Clan, Shi Wushuang, 88 points. After a while, a rather terrifying score emerged from the Shi Clan disciples. Next, it's your turn. After testing the other people, Yao Xuanyi looked expectant. looking at Xiao Yan, Yao Yichen, Shen Hong, Han Mu, Yan Zan, and He Ling, a few people from Zixi. Obviously these people are the most terrifying beings in the Medicine Clan festival. I'll come first. Ling Zixi walked slightly first, and immediately released his soul power slightly like those guys before. Dong, dong, dong. In an instant, a burst of ancient energy rippled out of the soul stone uncontrollably. 90? After a while, the mutation stopped abruptly, and two rather dazzling numbers appeared on the soul stone. It's actually 90? Seeing Ling Zixi's rather casual behavior, her soul power score actually reached a rare 90. Yao Yichen, who has always been arrogant, couldn't help but murmured. This Medicine Clan soul stone was obtained by their Medicine Clan Almighty by chance, and it is undoubtedly the most accurate after its identification. Now the Patriarch Yao Wan, his soul power score reached an unprecedented 96 points during the test, so now his soul power has stepped into the highest realm, Hua Yuan. It has been circulated among the Medicine Clan that as long as it can reach 90 or more in the test, the future cultivation limit will be too imaginary. Taishu and Hua Yuan seem to have little difference, but for pharmacists, there is a gap that is extremely difficult to bridge. Only when the soul power reaches Hua Yuan can they be qualified to attack the 8th rank holy pharmacist, but the cultivation of soul power is mysterious and mysterious. So the holy rank alchemist will be so rare. Above 90 points, every time you increase 1 point, the limit in the future is immeasurable. Yao Xuanyi looked at this girl with admiration and said, I always think you will be more terrifying than me. Ling Zixi said in a voice that everyone could hear after returning to Xiaoyan after doing all this. This bastard! Seeing Ling Zixi acting like this, several other people also cursed secretly. Okay, you guys, hurry up. Yao Xuanyi said with a smile. Shen Hong, 93 points. Sol Mu, 95 points. Yixuan, 95 points. Ha Xuan, 95 points. Yi Chen, 95 points. After a while, these people took the soul test invariably. With the appearance of the test results of these people, the strong people present couldn't help trembling. 495 points? The soul power of these people is probably enough to match the word evildoer? Once you step above 90 points, it is extremely difficult to increase each point. With a high score of 95, if there is no accident in the future, these people may have the potential to become holy pharmacists. Hee, I didn't expect this kid Yan Zan to be so secretive. Where, that fellow Hunmu is also quite terrifying. The Yao family brothers and sisters are also quite good. The people on the outside of the altar mountain looked at the results of the first round of the soul test, and the elders of their respective races praised each other, but the pride in their bones was extremely difficult to hide. It should be almost there. Yao Xuanyi said with a slight smile. Obviously this time the 4 high scores of 95 have surpassed the past, making people smile and forget Xiao Yan for a while. Senior Yao Xuanyi, there is one more person. Ling Zixi didn't take it seriously, she turned her gaze to Xiao Yan slightly and said softly. Senior, and I haven't tested it yet, this is my alchemist medal. Xiao Yan walked over slowly, not paying attention to the gazes of others around him, and handed over his alchemist medal. Oh, the alchemist medal at the pinnacle level of the 6th grade immortal rank? Yao Xuanyi took over the pharmacist medal, but she felt that this medal was different from the previous ones. Wait, in asterisk mode? Yao Xuanyi noticed the difference, and immediately turned it upside down. After a while, her calm face became strange and she lost her voice. The alchemist medal in asterisk mode, even the entire pharmacy family, has only 10 people, and there is no one among the alchemists tested today. You should know the rules. I will be very serious about you. After a while, Yao Xuanyi's voice and eyes became sharp, and then he said solemnly to Xiao Yan. Okay. Xiao Yan didn't hesitate, walked over slowly, raised his palm. The spiritual palace in his body violently squirmed. Down, the temperature plummeted. Just a pharmacist of the 6th rank of immortal rank. Why is Senior Yao Xuanyi so serious? Could it be that this guy used some small tricks? Seeing Yao Xuanyi's sudden fierceness, he couldn't help but caused a commotion. Give me quiet, the loud ones will be disqualified from the competition. At this moment, Yao Xuanyi stared at Xiao Yan with all his attention, and roared at the alchemist all over his body without any politeness. Boom! Xiao Yan was naturally unaware of the situation around him. At this moment, He felt that this was a special space where he was alone, and the soul power in his body emerged extremely urgently and poured all of it into the soul stone. The value on the soul stone has begun to change. 95? Some guys with extraordinary eyesight asked eagerly, feeling Xiao Yan began to transmit his soul power. How could it be 95 in the first place? Impossible. At this moment, even as arrogant as Yao Yichen, he had to lower his posture and said suspiciously, 95. 96. How is that possible? It actually reached the limit of Yao Wan's patriarch? Terret. Listening to the serious exclamation from the outside world, Xiao Yan took a deep breath, and immediately a more surging soul force burst out, and his body became tense. 97. Crack. Bang bang bang. Before the exclamation fell, the value on the soul stone suddenly soared, and it broke the highest limit in the record in an instant. No, I didn't control my strength, it seems like I'm about to be broken. As the outside world boiled over, Xiao Yan couldn't help rolling his eyes and muttering in his heart. But he didn't know that the outside world had been shocked by his soul value. Opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. Continuing from the previous episode 2069. The latest website, how is it possible? Within the assessment crystal barrier formed by the agate stone, nearly 1,000 people watched Xiao Yan's test. The value on the soul stone was as high as 97, and they muttered as if they had forgotten. Knowing where they are, the numbers in front of them constantly impact their minds. Yao Wan once achieved an unprecedented 96 score in the soul test, and later won the championship of the Yao Clan Festival. In the next 100 years, he hit the 8th grade pharmacist of the Holy Order and established him. A illustrious name. This little-known person in Xiao Yan's district actually achieved an even more perverted 97 score. So doesn't it mean that this guy's future potential is more terrifying than Yao Wan? No. This guy must have used some kind of conspiracy. Many guys who couldn't believe the facts speculated that Xiao Yan used some shameful methods, but Xiao Yan's test was not over yet, and the value of 97 was still there. It changed slowly, and at the moment when the values on the soul stone changed, tiny cracks and crevices continued to appear on the indestructible test soul stone that was as indestructible as a stubborn stone. Outside, Altar Mountain. Kacha! Yao Wan, who was sitting in the first place, easily crushed the tea set in his hands, and stood up straight, his eyes slowly staring at the abnormally flickering 97, and Xiao Yan's figure in the crystal barrier in front of him. Brother Xiao Yan, he is really powerful. Seeing this, Xun Er couldn't help but smile sweetly, but she could clearly feel the icy killing intent swept out from the surroundings. Obviously Xiao Yan's current greatness it made them quite dissatisfied. What's going on? Yao Wan couldn't help frowning, and asked some high-ranking elders around him, where did this guy come from to kill the dark horse? This kind of power is too terrifying, right? Only he knows that to test the terrifying suppression above the soul stone, if it wants to reach 95 points, the required soul power is already close to the peak of the fairyland soul. So if you want to exceed 95, in addition to carrying a strange treasure, it is only the soul the power can only reach the metamorphic state. But isn't the soul power in the metamorphic realm so easy? Even the so-called true genius and evildoer among the medicine clan, took nearly 1,000 years to break through the Hua Yuan realm, and the degree of difficulty can be imagined. Looking at the entire Yao family, there are only a few of the powerhouses who have reached this level of soul power, including the supreme elders. Immediately, the powerhouses present suspected that Xiao Yan was cheating. Yaoyun, go and ask the elder Yao Xueni to come out and find out. If anyone cheats for personal gain, then they will all be dealt with according to the rules of our Yao clan. Seeing that the value on the soul stone was still shaking slightly, Yao Wan roared. You don't have to think about it. If a man who is only 100 years old, if his soul power has reached the metamorphic realm, what kind of face do these old guys who have cultivated for thousands of years have? Unless this guy is beating his mother's womb to cultivate, it is absolutely impossible. Yes! Yaoyun heard the words, although he couldn't believe it, but because of the existence of countless strong people in the Altar Mountain, he could only cut through the void and go towards the crystal barrier. Patriarch Yao, wait. At this moment, Xun Er gently got up from his seat. Behind him, a round of golden crow's scorching sun slowly attached, showing endless divine might. combined with the strength in the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, it caused a momentary shock the attention of countless strong people. "Little baby, who are you?" Looking at Xun Er's arrogant posture, the elders of the Yao family couldn't help but whisper. It's not that he is afraid of Xun Er's strength, but the power behind him. At such a young age, he has reached the middle stage of the 8-star fighting immortals, and even the flames are extremely terrifying. These 2 points alone are enough to prove that the power behind this woman is definitely not bad. At their level, it is no longer a one-person battle. A race, a grudge within a force, so cautious. Your flame should be the flame of holy flame. Tell me, who is this man? After blinking, Yao Wan also smelled a deep sense of fear from the flame of Xun Er, and immediately waved his hand to let go. Yao Yun stopped, and his eyes were projected towards Xun Er. The guy in front of him who is testing his soul power is my husband. Xun Er is not an unreasonable person, but I don't want others to wrong my husband in vain. Xun Er laughed softly, but the meaning of protecting shortcoming in the voice was more obvious. Impossible. I've never seen someone so young to get to this point. What if that was the case? Why is the old man personally apologizing to him? Okay, Yao Patriarch must keep your words in mind. The brief conversation between the two had just ended, and Xun Er was no longer blocking them, because he believed in Xiaoyan. After blinking, Yao Yun tore through the void and prepared to face the crystal knot. Bounds away. Boom! Without waiting for the medicine cloud to enter it, a violent surge of energy emerged directly from the crystal barrier, tilting all the contestants out like a drain. That kind of scene is like a scene of Tianhe. Everyone is directly crowded out by the Tianhe, and they are abruptly tilted down from it, which is quite shocking and funny. Crack! With a sound, the crystal barrier in front of everyone shattered. After a while, thousands of people in the first round of the competition were returning here. They were quite embarrassed, and they seemed to have experienced some horrible baptism. Yao Xuanyi, what the asterisk is going on? At this moment, a core elder of the Yao family below couldn't help roaring. Patriarch, this guy is the first time this old man has seen him in his life. Innate talent, different from ordinary people. His soul power is already on the same level as yours. This matter has been confirmed by me again and again, there is absolutely no mistake. Yao Xuanyi turned his head indifferently, and said to Yao Wan under the gaze of countless people. What? At this moment, Yao Wan, Yao Yun, and other senior members of the Yao family looked at a man with a smile on his face and stunned eyes, and their mood was difficult to calm down. A powerful soul in the Hua Yuan realm with an area of less than 100 years old? Then the assessment of this grand ceremony is still a fart. That Yao Patriarch accidentally broke the soul stone tested, you won't blame me? While everyone hadn't recovered from the shock of Yao Xuanyu's voice just now, Xiaoyan's next sentence, I couldn't help but make everyone present have the urge to smash to death. This soul stone was actually broken by Xiaoyan? Broken? What kind of tyrannical soul power is it? Can you actually break through this soul stone? What's wrong? Xiaoyan couldn't help but wonder when he saw Yao Wan, and everyone was speechless. Little baby, let's just let this matter go. After a while, Yao Wan also recovered the pressure of his superiors, and said casually to the rear Xun Er. Okay. Seeing this, Xun Er could only give up slightly. Obviously, the above just couldn't stand the characters of the strong and protect the short. He was going to come forward and teach a lesson. This is the medicine family, so naturally there is no need to do something harmful to the medicine family. Face thing. But at this moment, countless people around him treat Xiaoyan and Xun Er as if they were monsters. Of these two people, one of them has an extraordinary and unfathomable soul power, and it turned out that the soul stone that was regarded as a treasure among the medicine family was broken. The other person is wearing holy flame, and his strength is extremely terrifying. I am afraid it is the eldest lady of a certain superpower. For a time, no one dared to have the slightest hostility to the two, but it was precisely because of Xiaoyan's brilliant performance in the first round that Xiaoyan was frustrated everywhere in the next assessment. As a pharmacist, Xiaoyan is still a must.